What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench Podcast Network and channel. Giving a shout out to the rest of the crew: Shy, Kelvin, KB Film Room, Big Dog Talk Sports. That's right, that's right. Check out their videos here on the network. And for everyone who's tuning in, thank you for supporting Behind the Bench. Subscribe to the channel, help make the show the best that it can be. And wow, let's delve into this, man. Wow, man. You know, last night's NBA action, we saw the Los Angeles Clippers going to uh, going to enemy territory on the road versus the talented Memphis Grizzlies, number 2 seed in the Western Conference. And they upset the Grizzlies by the score. I believe it was 114-108, man. And the driving force last night, you know, the Clippers got great contribution from Norman Powell. And actually, Norman Powell is playing great for the Clippers this year, filling in for Kawhi Leonard as he's trying to return back from that knee injury he has. And then James Harden's been a steady force for them. He's been durable. And that's one thing about James Harden I'll say, man. He's been a durable player throughout his career, and you can count on him to show up to play. I'll give him credit for that. But I'm telling you, man, the driving force behind this thing, man, the driving force is one. They call him Zubac in Clipperland, Ivica Zubac, man. And he, I'm just, as a Laker fan, man, I'm just stunned every time I watch him play, man, perform, man. And now he's finally getting a chance to show what he can do. And it's like he really hasn't tapped into his full potential. We may not see the full-fledged Ivica Zubac for about another 2 years. And we're going to see what I saw in him when he was drafted back in 2016. When I saw his workout video, man, you know, he's out of the country of Croatia in Eastern Europe. And when I first saw his workout video, and he was in the gym by himself, and I saw his footwork, man, I was really impressed, man. I was like, man, he's light on his feet, he's agile, and he just seemed like, man, he knew how to operate in that paint, man, you know. And man, to see him do what he's doing this year and see what he did last night, because he was the reason why they won that game. And he didn't do this against a bottom team. He did this against a Memphis Grizzlies team that is darn good and is darn tough. 20 points, 20 rebounds, 3 steals, right? And he did that against Zach Edey, one of the leading candidates for Rookie of the Year at the, you know, and Jaren Jackson, former Defensive Player of the Year from a season and a half ago. And he went in there, man. He gutted out because he wasn't even supposed to play last night. He was on the injury report for I believe it was for a sore calf, right calf. I believe that's what they reported it as. But he showed up, man. He delivered. And them Clippers fans, man, they loving him. They started to see who he is. But I saw this the whole time. So this is not a thing where I'm, you know, jumping on the bandwagon, nothing like that. I saw him being able to do this when he was drafted in 2016. And the thing about it, ironically, the Lakers, the staple position for the Lakers, what made the Lakers this renowned franchise, that really solidified them as a modern day franchise in the NBA, along with the late great Jerry West and the late great Elgin Baylor, was the center position. And it really actually it started with George Mikan with the Minneapolis Lakers. Then it went from George Mikan to Will Chamberlain. Then it went from Will Chamberlain to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Then even after Kareem Abdul-Jabbar retired, we drafted Vlade Divac in 1989. And by his second year, he was our starting center for the Lakers, who advanced to the finals that year to face the Chicago Bulls. And Divac had a darn good series, you know, overall. And then it went from Divac to Shaquille O'Neal, right? Then it went from Shaquille O'Neal to Andrew Bynum, who we drafted. in 2005. 2005. Youngest player ever drafted in the NBA. Paul Gasol, we traded for him, but he's really a power forward. And whenever Andrew Bynum got hurt, he would play the 5 spot, but he's really a power forward. So it's a combination of drafted players at the position, and then some of the all-time greats such as Wilt, Kareem, and Shaq. You know what I'm saying? But Zubac was next in line, and what I saw their workout video, I said, man, he gonna mess around. He's gonna be our next long-standing center for the future of this franchise. That's what I saw. One of the things where I was like, oh, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait and see what he can do. That's the first thought that entered my mind, and it's playing out to be true, because ever since 5 years ago, around this time too, 5 years ago, he was traded to the Los Angeles Clippers, and I thought it was a joke, and I was so befuddled. I couldn't think straight, man. I was like, you know how you get that? You know how when you, when you eat ice cream too fast, you get that brain freeze where it's hard to focus. You got to squint your eyes, wait till that brain freeze, run its course. Well, that's how I felt on that day when the news broke that he was traded. And if he had been utilized the whole time like he's being utilized now, Clippers probably could have went to the finals. But what I like about Zoo, man, what I like about him, man, is that he's a true team player. Because even when he was not really involved in the offense, his first 4 seasons with the Clippers, he always played for the team. But the issue was he was already undervalued when he was traded there. Because the former team president of the Purple and Gold essentially said he was no good and that he was garbage. So the Clippers viewed him as such, and they just used him as a screener up top to free up, whoever had the ball up top, whether it was Kawhi Leonard or Paul George, when Paul George was on the team, or Russell Westbrook, Rajon Rondo, whomever, Nicholas Batum, But now they finally feature him in offense because they got to, because Kawhi's out. He hasn't played none this year. But man, oh man, he's a diamond in the rough, man. That's when I look at him, I see a diamond in the rough. And I'm telling you, man, he's gonna mess around this year. And he's gonna get most improved player. And that'd have been the third player from that young core that we had that won that award. The first player to win, the first young core player to win that award was Brandon Ingram in 2020. 2020, was that 2020? Yeah. Yes, 2020, he made the All-Star game. Then the next year was Julius Randle, most improved player. He made the All-Star game in the second team All-NBA. And now Zubac, with the way he's rebounded, he's turned himself into a rebounding menace. And when you rebound like that, to that degree, that really means you're playing good defense. That's what that means to me. And it's like he's developing himself. It's like nobody's really developing him. He's developing himself. Now, a player like James Harden is getting him the ball, but I think there's games where he really don't get the touches that he needs to really establish himself. But at the end of the day, this man carried his team on his back, and he made the go-ahead basket last night when towards the end of a minute to go, when the Clippers ran that spread offense, that 4-corner offense, and then James Harden penetrated to the free throw line, and he swung it to Batum. Then Batum kicked it to Zubac, cutting from the baseline, going to the basket, and he went up strong with the 2-hand jam, put him up by 2 points. Tell him, man, that man can play. That man can play. And we gave up our future center, man. Cornerstone. He could have been our center. Let's see, he's 27 years old now. So arguably throughout the entire decade of the 2020s, man. That's who we traded, man. And the former team president said he was no good. He was garbage. That's essentially what he said, because he was like, well, he was asked, well, what is he averaging this year? And he said, his career average is 5 points a game. But now, that's what I'm saying, man. When you are a GM or whatnot, man, you have to, when you really assess a team, man, you have to, once you have the experience of really being able to assess the players that you have, man, you can't think about the now, especially when they're young like that. You have to think about what they're going to turn into, man, 4 years down the line, man. And I'm excited for Zubac, man, but it's bittersweet at the same time, because he's supposed to be our starting center, man. And to show you that it's an unequivocal fact, they have not been able to replace him. Think about that. They're in win now mode. They've been in win now mode since all this started in summer 2018. They have not been able to replace the presence of a player who was just 22 years old. And that just shows you how backwards the Lakers have been operating. And they traded him to the Clippers. The immediate reason why was to bring in a spot-up shooter to space the floor for the guy, the Hurricane, because it's the LBJ system or bust. There is no other alternative. So you have to, revamp your entire roster and bring in players that can help facilitate his style of play. And in the process, we gave up our starting center of the future. But man, telling you, Doc, they can't replace him. They looking for a big man right now. They talking about Jonas Valanciunas, even though Valanciunas could have signed with them outright as a free agent this offseason, but he elected to go to Washington to be a backup. He said, I want no parts of that. And they trying to get him. They trying to get him in the Laker land, and they talking about Robert Williams. I mean, he's a good defender, but the problem is he's been hurt. You didn't have 2 knee surgeries and whatnot, and you had your starting center right in the palm of your hand, man. You had him right in the palm because you drafted him outright. You didn't have to, give up no draft picks or nothing to get him. He was right there. All you had to do was just work with him, be patient, develop him. Tell him, man, he would have became an all-star. He became an all-star, I'm going to say, he was drafted in 2016. He would have became an all-star, I'm going to say, by 2021, by his 5th year. Maybe his 4th year. But definitely his 5th year. If they had, stayed the course and built the real players up, he'd have became an all-star, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, dog. But the man, you got Clipper fans tweeting, oh, he the franchise. And what's ironic is he is the longest tenured player on the Clippers as of right now, because they traded for him mid-season prior to that offseason that they signed Kawhi Leonard. So he's been a Clipper longer than anybody else on that team, and he's been the main figure of that franchise even before Ty Lue replaced Doc Rivers as head coach. So for all practical purposes right now, man, he's Mr. Clipper. You know what I'm saying? But I saw like I said, I'm not jumping on no bandwagon. I always believe that he can do this, man. It's not even, wasn't even a doubt. And for him to do this, man, I believe right now, as of today, after last night's action, that he's tied for total rebounds for the season. And I believe he's 3rd in rebounds per game. And only 2 players that lead him in rebounds per game, I believe, is going to be Nikola Jokic and probably Karl Anthony Towns. Think about that. Think about that. And like I said, the more minutes, he played 40 minutes last night. If they would have took him out the game and only played him 28 minutes, they would have lost. So, yeah, man. He'll mess around and get most improved player. He'll mess around and get an all-star nod. And that's who we gave up, man. Think about it. We definitely gave up our starting center of the future because he's been the starting center for the Clippers going into the season after they traded for him. And he was the starting center for the Clippers when they advanced to the conference finals for the first time in franchise history in 2021. He was averaging a double-double in the postseason. He was barely being used on offense. So, like I said, I'm still stunned, man. I'm still stunned that we traded him, dog. I'm just like, wow, man. You have to really be out there to make a trade like that. That was the most unnecessary trade I've ever seen. Like, it's been a lot of bad trades that we've seen in the NBA. Don't get me wrong. But this right here, man, it's the most unnecessary trade because they have not been able to replace him ever since they traded. Not even with Dwight Howard, not with DeAndre Jordan, not with Mo Bamba when they traded for him a season and a half ago. Now he's Zubac's backup. The irony of it. Andre Drummond couldn't fill that spot. That's saying a lot, man. And Andre Drummond's 4-time rebound leader. He couldn't fill the spot. He was gone after 3 months. They have not, because it was meant for Zubac to be the starting center for the Lakers. But like you say now, he said he loved playing for the Clippers. He considered himself a Clipper for life. And he may go down as the best center that their franchise has ever had. But 5 years ago, the former president of the Lakers said he was garbage. Basically, he had no value. It's just stunning to me, man. So you gotta laugh to keep from crying, Doc. You gotta laugh to keep from crying, man. But I'm telling you, if the Clippers really like when Kawhi Leonard returns to makes his debut with the team, I'm telling you, man, he's the type of player, man, that when he really get going, man, cats gonna start backing off of him, dog. Guaranteed. And he gonna deliver. But just want to drop that nugget. Until next time, JB for BTB Behind the Bench.